Hello folks, Raymond Bell here with O.A.T.S. What we're about to show you by video that was filmed live at Virginia Tech is what is known in the equine world as integrating horses. We film it and show it as well as do it live at various functions, schools, and other locations by request to demonstrate the dramatic effects of bullying in our society. Pretty much everybody's calming down now, kind of sitting in their own space, giving everybody kind of a breather and a rest. Palomino and the other one attempting yet again to make acquaintances. As I say, he does not give up very easily. Very indicative of oftentimes people at our workplaces just don't know when they need to give us some space, or students welcoming new students don't realize that oftentimes they need their free time, they need their space. Just a little bit of playing going on there. So as we've said before, these two do know each other, and so you will see them playing from time to time with each other. Oftentimes horses will bite on the neck up around the mane, and you can often see sometimes even horses rearing up hoof to hoof. Oftentimes that is just playing. Here again we have pretty much everybody's relaxed in the ring. These two are in essence kind of muzzling the ground. We said earlier we were looking for him to roll. Here he goes. So this is our second horse now rolling, indicating to everybody he is content. He now understands where he is and what he needs to be doing. He's going to be willing to pretty much give everybody space. So you'll see that he's now not attempting to do anything with that Palomino, but she's going to give him the butt and a hook if he doesn't walk away, and he does so as he should. Oftentimes we are much better to be attentive to the body language of others around us so that we do not have unnecessary issues in school or in the workplace. If we will simply be attentive to what's going on around us, we can often avoid many of the issues that create problems. What's unique about working with the horses is that you, the spectator, whether in person or by video, are allowed to feel the emotions by seeing them. Okay, here we've got some playing going on. Here we're talking about the rearing. Apache's getting up on Bo's back. Sometimes in different breeds that's a sign of dominance, but with these two that's a past history issue. Apache likes to rear up. He doesn't really fully understand how big he is given his age, and so he likes to play and will often bite and nip at Bo as well as roughhouse with him. And that's what he's doing there. He's putting the muzzle of his on the back of Bo along the bottom of that mane, kind of nipping at him. Not really a bite, but just kind of tugging at him with his teeth. But as you watch horses, you get to see the internal motions that many people experience. Horses running and playing can also be internalized by people as trying to flee or trying to get away, not wanting to be there. And many times in our schools as well as in our corporate environment, these things are occurring internally with people, but they're not expressing themselves. They often give us the body language, but we are generally not paying attention, and then problems begin to arise. Mo is, the alpha, is now chatting again, you might say, with Apache, and Apache still wanting to play. One horse now moving off. Have you noticed how the horses tend to migrate from one end of the ring to the other? They are very social animals, and they want to fit. They want to belong, just like we all do. So while at some time they might not want to be in the group, they simply do migrate to the group. And how many times have we experienced people who they want to be left alone. They want some free space, but they don't want to be excluded, so they kind of follow the group around. Patchy here is probably going to be playing with Bo some more. Bo's not really receptive, but he's willing to tolerate it. Patchy's trying to play with him, romp, oftentimes as young children do. This is a good illustration for parents. Often come home tired from work, have a full plate, and the children want to play, and they don't realize the importance of that dynamic. So you'll see here, very likely in a few minutes, that the alpha, meaning Bo, will tolerate it for a while, recognizing that he needs to fill that role, trying to ensure that everyone in the herd gets the adequate attention and protection and provision that they need. Right here in the center is a horse we call Prissy, and she pretty much doesn't do anything without another horse. So she's one of those you might meet in our society, in our classrooms, who is a follower and will change friends literally from day to day sometimes. But at the base and the foundation simply doesn't have a real identity in and of herself. In fact, will become agitated if left alone for any reason. And so she's simply waiting on everybody to work all this out. She wants to resume her normal process of moving from horse to horse and not really wanting to be involved and engaged with the newcomers. This is a horse that will rely on the alpha and others to indicate to her whether or not she should or should not hang out with the new folks. How many of us are doing that in our different work environments and classrooms? We're following the lead of others instead of just willing to meet people, become friends and associates based upon who they are and what they present to themselves. Horses are unique in the fact that they do not hold the prejudice we hold, and they receive each other as well as us on an even platform or even ground. Here we have the Palomino, pretty much just trying to stay out of the way. She's a little bit aggravated. I don't know if you can see in the quality of the video, her ears are laid back. That's a classic sign that horses are upset. It doesn't always mean that horses are upset. It could mean they're listening to something behind them, as well as their ears tend to fold back when they eat. But in her case, she's a little bit aggravated. And the newcomer is once again trying to make friends, trying to be part of the herd. Oftentimes, the newcomers in the pecking order of the herd are the low end of the totem pole. We do not fully understand how all of this works. It does not appear to follow any pattern relative to age or even size. And interestingly enough, the alphas will change from time to time. In fact, if our alpha Bo wasn't here, well, we had a little bit of a spat there, didn't we? That was hard. Telling him I'm not wanting to be involved in this. I don't want to relive being injured like I did before. It's in my memory, so just leave me alone. But oftentimes that one horse we're just discussing part will actually take the place and fill in if the alpha Bo is in another pasture or off campus or off site somewhere. And so they have a pretty good system set up to do this. Once again, herd animals are those who take care of each other, look out for the other, protect, whereas pack animals tend to only look out after themselves and will also hurt or destroy the wounded. Oftentimes we are, as humans, in a pack mentality, although we were made to be herd animals.